Pretty much coast to coast. Soledad?
All right, Bonnie, thank you. A story now about pretty amazing determination for a young man with a checkered past. In Atlanta, Charles Heaton found out the hard way that good grades and a degree from a prestigious university just were not enough after he did time in prison. Our David Mattingly tells us what it took for him to get a second chance.
Graduating from college was the happiest day in Charles Roscoe Heaton's life. But the smiles wouldn't last because Heaton was an honor student trying to escape a less than honorable past.
I said, hey, people are going to forget everything you've ever done in the past. That's erased. It's done. It wasn't that way.
Before Heaton was an overachieving undergraduate, he was an out-of-luck teenaged inmate, serving almost 3 years in a Georgia state prison, once attempting suicide. So in spite of his excellent grades from college, employers wouldn't touch him. He ended up panhandling under a bridge in Atlanta, living out of his car, and growing more depressed and angry with each motorist who passed him by.
Did you feel like your life was over?
Yes, I felt I was going to be like my father and my mother, and the cycle was just going to start and the door was going to start revolving.
Both of Heaton's parents served time in prison, and he remembers a childhood filled with shame.
It was like a hole, and I was always trying to feed this whole hole with whatever good grades or doing good on the football team or being, this star student or star debater or things like that.
But he was also frequently getting into trouble. Drugs, alcohol, fistfights, as he was unable to shake feelings of worthlessness. It wasn't until age 17 and behind bars, convicted on charges of aggravated assault, that Heaton saw clearly the future he had been determined to avoid. He realized he was serving time in prison the same time as his father.
I made a promise to myself. I promised by the time I got back to my cell that I would never come back to prison. I would not be like him and keep repeatedly coming back to prison.
And it's a promise that he's managed to keep, as employers continued to balk at the idea of hiring an ex-con, even one with an impeccable resume. Heaton decided to launch a letter-writing campaign pleading his case to judges, politicians, the media, and companies. And unlike those days he spent panhandling, this time people paid attention.
It was a desperate gamble that paid off, with a front-page Sunday headline in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and job offers. Now employed as an office manager, he vows to remember those pivotal low points in his life, the humility behind bars, and the frustration he felt on the street.
Did you ever feel like acting on that anger?
No, sir, I never really did. I said one day if I ever make it, I'm not going to be like these people.
Heaton now talks of going to law school with hopes of one day practicing law and helping people like himself. Anyone, he says, who is in need of a chance to prove themselves. David Mattingly, CNN, Atlanta.
He says at times he would dress up in a pinstripe navy blue suit, carry around a black suitcase, and wear a sign that said, Emory University grad, can't get work, need a job, food, or money, need help. Thanks. Wow. That's how bad it got for him.
And he's able to turn it around, though.
Yeah, so far so good.
That's a good story.
Ahead this morning, 6 more shopping days till Christmas. Did retailers get their holiday wish this year? Andy is minding your business just ahead.
And then King Kong was supposed to be a monster at the box office. How'd it do? Was it monstrous or just a little bit? Well, AM Pop is straight ahead on American Morning. Okay.
The particular moment I decided to get my hip fixed was when I felt I was too young to